My question, Sean. You got him looking in your camera,
Yeah.
and this is my question.
Okay,
How you
go
gonna do that, man?
Well, you know,
It's like when you're doing commentating, right? Like when you right here and they ask you about the fight, then you got to turn around.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
look at the other commentator. So when you say something, then you got to turn back around. Ladies and gentlemen,
yeah.
so you got to
Oh,
do
so
yeah, that's how you got to do it.
Yo, so Sean, man, I got.
Yeah.
Huh?
You got-
You going? Yeah. So I got some man, young guys, man. That hopefully you get a chance. Hopefully you get to see them, so you see what they're looking like. Really talented guys, man. Looking forward to turning soon, right? What would you tell them? What advice do you have for them, man? You know.
The most important advice that I have is that you have to be hungry, you have to be dedicated. If you're not dedicated to your craft, then you just you're just in there for no reason. Most importantly, this is a serious sport, and people get hurt, people get killed in it. So if you come in there 45 or 50%, you may be one of the next fighters that may be in a coma or something like that. So what I tell everybody is that when you get into this game, it's real. This ain't no joke. It's not like basketball when you get tired, you can sub somebody in and sub somebody out. Nah, it's you mano a mano with one man. Other than that, when you're dealing with a lot of young guys now, they want to be world champions after 3 fights. They want Bentleys, they want Ferraris after 5 fights. And it's kind of, blowing the boxing game and a lot of stuff that we want to do because, a lot of stuff that the fighters are glamorizing and the kids that want to get it. And if they don't get it in boxing, then they leave for themselves to go outside or do something stupid.
Yeah, man. So I know earlier, man, you talked a little bit. You talked about like some of the stuff that drove you, man. Like, just name some of it, man. Because I know I didn't get all of it. Name some of the stuff, man, that drove you to be a Hall of Famer, 3-time world champion, man.
What drove me was I was hungry, number one. Number two, boxing was my life. So I had an oldest brother that was 10 times better than me. He went to the 84 trials, the 88 trials, and the 92 trials. He wanted a gold medal. I wanted world titles. So in 1988, me and him was in Olympic trials in the same weight class. So they had me and my brother fighting the same day, first day. So we ended up having to call USA Boxing, and he switched it over, put me up top, put my brother down the bottom. And we got to the last 4, which was me and Irk Griffin and my brother and Michael Carbajal. So Irk Griffin beat me, but he tested positive for marijuana. So they supposed to reinstate me to fight the winner of my brother, Michael Carbajal. So this is where the USA Boxing politics come in at. When they supposed to reinstate me, they didn't reinstate me because the USA president said he wasn't gonna give my father or me 2 chances, because if my brother would have lost, then I'd have had to fight Carbajal. But they didn't reinstate me. So, all around the USA Boxing politics around it is one of the reasons what made me turn pro. Why I turned pro is because I was rated number 1 at 106 and 112 pounds. And the very next year after the 88 Olympics, they didn't call me for no shows. The sports festival, the Pan Am games, the Goodwill games. So at that point I knew, I was getting ready to start being blackballed from USA Boxing. So I said, okay, well, let me take it on the road. And what I tell people is this all the time. When I turned pro, all the guys now, they want money. I can remember when I turned pro, my purse was like $600, and then maybe I sell like $3,000 worth of tickets. So then my purse $3,600. So a lot of guys out here now, the money they making now is just like, it's unbelievable for you not to be in the shape that you in. The money that they making now, I would have never left the gym. The money that they making now, I'd have a whole house or a building in the gym. So you could have called me 3 days before a fight, I'd have been ready. The money that they get now.
Yeah. Man. Yeah.
You done been to camp with, hold on, first off, for you didn't need camp.
I never
You were
had
so
one.
focused, so you didn't need camp. But I'm sure you've probably been to training or somebody else's camp to help them prepare. Pernell Whitaker.
Oh man, one of the best, Pernell Whitaker, man, is one of the best southpaws in the world. If you put Pernell Whitaker highlight tape of his defense, you put my highlight tape with my defense, and you had these 2 great guys that that came and done it right. And what boxing didn't understand was that they didn't understand how a guy like Pernell Whitaker can outbox you without bouncing around. That's all he did was stepped around, outbox you. And What they did was, what boxing does is this. They wait till you get old, so it's out with the old, in with the new. So, when it came to guys like De La Hoya or guys like that fighting, as well as me and Marquez, I think Pernell and me, we should have maybe stopped one fight before. But as a fighter, you always think you still got that niche. You think you still got that one punch, that one hitter quitter. And, I tell you all the time, man, don't come back. So, that's the main thing. And once again, we just got to focus on guys like Pernell, and we got to uplift these guys. The main thing, like I talk about, which is the pension. We needed that pension. If Pernell would have had that pension, we might be all right. Because if he had that pension, then he wouldn't be doing nothing stupid. All right? So, but make a long story short, I need that pension too, man. All us need it. All fighters need it. But the main thing is that guys like Pernell Whitaker, you don't get those guys no more. You in the style of boxing now, you don't get a Sugar Ray Leonard no more. You don't get a Tommy Hearns who a tall man who like to box on the outside. All the tall guys want to box like the short man. And it gets to the point that when it comes to the promoters and the networks, right, we cheating the fans out the best fights because once again, Bud Crawford with top rank. How can he fight Danny Garcia, Earl Spence? Because they were out him. So I think a lot of the promoters we getting cheated out of the game.
Man, so and even man, just what's the biggest, man? You look at back in your day, man. Like you talk about Sugar Ray, all these the big time fights. But what's the? I know we were talking a little bit in the van the other day on the way up here, just how just like the style of boxing has kind of changed throughout the years, right? What way, man? What's the biggest change that you've seen? As far as just like the style of the way these guys fight nowadays versus the way y'all did it back in the day.
Nowadays, the new fighters can't fight, man. Plain and simple. The new fighters can't fight. First of all, when you go back, you compare any older fighter with any new fighter. I don't care who you pull up. The first thing that the old fighters did, and the first thing that they did when they got in the ring and punched, it was a jab. The first punch that you learn. You can beat a guy with a jab for 4, 5, 6 rounds if you have a good one. Nowadays, nobody want a jab. Everybody want to just put their hands up like this and go on the inside and just make noise. Back in the day, we didn't do that. You know what I mean? So I think that everybody, and I take nothing away from my man Floyd, which is one of the best fighters, I think. But guys like Floyd has changed the game for the new fighters because everybody want to do the shoulder roll, but that's not for everybody else. Floyd changed the game with the mitt work, him and Roger. Now everybody think because they can hold the mitts fast that they're a trainer.
Yeah.
So one thing about boxing, what I dislike is I could be in Jiffy Lube Sunday changing oil, and I can come in the gym Monday and be a professional boxing coach.
Yeah.
But you can't do that in no other sports, but boxing.
Good point.
So but boxing. But the fight is the day, and like I say, when I say about boxing, it's like every sport, the great guys can change the game. Muhammad Ali, Leon Spinks, and those guys said 15 rounds was too long. What'd they do? Moved to 12, changed the game. College basketball, Georgetown to St. John's. What they used to do? Pass the ball around because there wasn't no shot clock. Then what they do? Shot clock. So now you go back to Ray Leonard. Got the thumb in the eye. Gave them the detached retina, as they say. Then they came out with what? Thumb attached gloves.
Yeah.
So now let's go back to Floyd Mayweather. When everybody was saying, he's scared of Manny, he don't want to fight him, this, and that. Because Floyd said, hey, listen, I want Olympic style testing. And then everybody thought it was a joke. What you mean, Olympic style testing? Nevada, we got, nah, I want Olympic style testing. So what Floyd was basically saying is that I know Manny on something or doing something. But if you got Olympic style testing, it can tell you if you smoked a cigarette last week. So, and what they doing now? Everywhere, Olympic style testing. So if you a fighter, and I don't give you a fighter, a boxer, no matter what you in, you can change the game. You can change it. And Floyd changed a lot in the game. You know what I mean? One of the guys that, was his own businessman, just like Bernard. Both of them did their thing as their own business guys. Then you gotta look at what he done with his promotional company. And it's just that fighters got to be hungry. You know what I mean? Like, I could have stopped a long time ago. Bernard Hopkins lost his first professional fight. I lost my second professional fight. So, you know, that one loss or that two losses, it made you get more opponents, because now they feel like we can beat him, he lost. But if you 10-0, 11-0, then everybody says, I don't want to fight him. But if you got that one loss, then they know they can fight you.
You know what I mean? Look, I'll be talking to you all day long, man. So we gotta let you go. We don't bother on, man, all day. We still got.
Hey, make sure y'all look up, man, my man Kenny, Sean, the Nova Hit Squad. What's your John Ken?
Pride Boxing.
Pride Boxing. And don't forget about the sharpshooters. And I'm out.